All right, I just got done. I'm recording a couple of videos in a row, so I just got done recording a core video. If you want to do that video with this video, great. It'll be a little bit longer, closer to an hour. In this video, we're just gonna do more of a full body yoga practice. So taking just a moment to drop in, arriving in a comfortable shape, feeling the body rest against the earth, taking your awareness there, and just feeling the weight of the body, the sensation of being held by the earth beneath you. Noticing the breath. Begin to feel the breath move through the body, inhaling through the nose. Follow the breath to the back of the throat and down as it fills the lungs. With the exhale, following that same air as it leaves the lungs, entering through the back of the throat and out the nose or mouth, really noticing the sensation of that movement of air, the tickling as it moves in through the nostrils, maybe the temperature of the air as it hits the back of the throat, the expansion of the lungs, the sensation of fullness, and the exhale following that same air, noticing how it feels as it leaves the body, the sensations it creates. And as the lungs fill, noticing how the body feels with that oxygen moving into the blood and throughout the entire body. Just really trying to focus on just the breath and how the breath is being experienced in your body in this moment. About 1 more minute. Maybe you notice what feels hard about the breath. What's challenging you? Is it your mind? Is it the physical sensations? Is there a hesitancy in the body to fill the lungs? Or is the mind distracted or feeling judgmental? Just noticing what feels difficult about the breath, and then notice what feels easy. Is there a warmth, a softness? Is there a feeling of being fed? The entire body being filled with this oxygenated blood. What does that feel like in your body? And with each inhale, really feeling that expansion in the lungs, and exhaling, feeling how the lungs feel empty. 2 more big breaths. One more. And then taking a moment here if you'd like to set an intention for your practice. When you're ready, the eyes can come back open if they were closed. And we're just going to begin to move in the neck, taking it in some circles. Feeling each muscle as you move around and how it feels to be lengthened. Noticing the breath. And then the other direction. Beautiful. Bringing the head back to the center when that feels complete for you. Taking the hands to either side of the body, face the palms up. Inhale, reach the arms towards the ceiling, palms come together. Exhale, hands lower to the heart. Inhaling, interlace the fingers. Exhale, press the palms away from the body. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release the hands, lowering them down towards the mat. Face the palms up. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands lower. Inhale, interlace the fingers. Exhale, press away. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. 1 more time, moving with your own breath. Beautiful. Inhale, the arms reach towards the ceiling again. This time with the exhale, lowering the left hand down, right arm reaches up and over the body, keeping the right hip pressed down, lower, lengthen. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches over. Gazing up with the left hand, press the left hip down and lengthen the side body here. Inhale back to center. This time exhaling into a twist, right hand, left knee, left hand behind the back, tall spine. And inhaling, come back to the center, reach the arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, twist the other direction, right hand behind the back, left hand to right knee, tall spine. Noticing the breath. And slowly releasing, coming back to center, bringing the soles of the feet together this time. Sitting up tall, tall spine. Finding what feels good in your body, distance between where the feet are in relation to the hips. And then finding that perfect place, always an option if you'd like, set the blocks beneath your knees for a little bit more support. And then inhale, the arms reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward as far as you'd like. Where does it feel good in your body? 3 rounds of breath in butterfly. And inhaling, the arms back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower the hands, grabbing onto the outsides of the knees and bringing the knees towards each other. Extending the legs forward. Sitting up tall, engage your core. Feel your sit bones, lengthen the spine from there as tall and straight as your spine can be. Point the toes. Flex the feet, point the toes, and flex the feet. And then we're going to come on to our mats into a tabletop. Hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. A few cat and cows here to begin to move through our spines. Inhale, dropping the belly, tailbone and chin lift. Exhale, round through the spine, belly button to spine. Chin and tailbone tuck, shoulder blades separate. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. 2 more times. Hips press back towards the heels, arms are forward, forehead rests. Child's pose. And then your next inhale, come back up. Walking the hands forward, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, tailbone towards the ceiling. Relax the head, shaking it yes and no, and then finding some petals in the feet, maybe some twists. Beautiful. Inhaling, lift the right leg towards the ceiling. Press the left heel down, finding length for a moment, and then bend the right knee, bringing it in towards the chest. Place your right ankle on your left thigh. Coming up on the left toes, press the hip back. A little bit of a stretch in the hips here, stretching your shoulders. And then inhale, lift the hips back up, coming up on those toes, right leg towards the ceiling, and lowering it down. Another paddle here. Notice the breath. And then pressing the right heel down, inhale the left leg up towards the ceiling. Slowly bring the left knee towards the chest, placing the left ankle on the right thigh. Lift the right heel, and then press those hips back. Beautiful. Inhale, lifting the hips back up, pressing the right heel down as you lengthen the left leg up, and then lowering it down to the floor. Begin to slowly walk the feet up to meet the hands, arriving in a forward fold. Soften the knees here, the feet underneath the hips. Let the belly just rest on the thighs, the upper body hangs. Shaking the head yes and no, relax the neck. And then grabbing opposite elbows here for about 3 rounds of breath in ragdoll.
Noticing the body being held by the feet, and maybe rock forward and back to just feel that shift in the weight of your body when it's forward or towards the heels. How does it feel different? Just noticing this experience in your body and what it's like. Let the hands fall down to the mat. Take an inhale, coming into a half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, all the way up, extended mountain pose. Reach the arms towards the ceiling, bring the palms together. Exhale, hands to the heart. Mountain pose. And we'll take 3 rounds of breath here in mountain pose. You can bring your feet closer together. You can keep them separated slightly. 2 more rounds. On the next inhale, reach the arms towards the ceiling, extended mountain pose with the exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands, step the left foot back, right foot between the hands, runner's lunge. A little bit of movement here as it feels good in your body. Always an option to use blocks. If you feel really tight in the hips here, add some blocks to give you a little more space for movement. And the movements can be small or big, just depending on how you feel in your body. My body's a little bit warmer because this is the second video I'm doing. So I'm moving a little bit more, but if it's the first practice you're doing, you might be a little bit more gentle in your body. And if you've got blocks, just setting them to the side. Staying up on those back toes. Inhale, lift the chest, coming into a crescent lunge. Bring the shoulders over the hips. Beautiful. Palms come together. Hands find the heart here. Take an inhale, twisting with the exhale. Right arm back, left arm forward. Gazing over your right shoulder. Slowly bring the hands back to the heart. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands lower down to the mat. Step the right foot back to meet the left foot, coming into plank pose. Option to drop down to the knees. Tailbone tucks. Take an inhale. Come forward slightly. Exhale, lower all the way down. Tops of the feet, forehead, find the mat. Bring the legs together. Engage the glutes. Kneecaps lift. Inhale, baby cobra. Just the chest lifts. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes. Inhale, onto the knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Finding some petals here. Then gazing forward, slowly step the feet up to meet the hands. Exhaling into a forward fold. This time, bending the knees a lot. Let the belly rest all the way on the thighs. Grab the opposite elbows behind the knees. Let the head be heavy. And just pull here, holding and breathing. You can lift the hips a little bit for a deeper stretch, or you can just keep the hips dropped down. One more breath here. Release the hands down in front of you. Exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Extended mountain pose. Palms together. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Mountain pose. And 3 rounds of breath. On the next inhale, the arms towards the ceiling, extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Folding with the exhale, planting the hands. Right foot steps back, left foot between the hands. Runner's lunge, maybe with blocks on this side as you find whatever movement your body wants. Forward and back, or maybe you just want some stillness, and that's great as well. And just remembering, if you're just starting, your body's not really warm yet, Maybe you just do some gentle forward and back. And then releasing the blocks if you've got the blocks. Staying on those back toes as you inhale up into a crescent lunge. And then on the next exhale, palms come together, hands come down to the heart. Taking an inhale, twist on the exhale, right arm forward, left arm back, taking the gaze over that left shoulder. And hands coming back to the heart. Down to the mat, step it back, plank pose, option to be on the knees. Take an inhale, lower down with the exhale. If you'd like, you can lower down just halfway, finding that hover, and then an upward facing dog. Exhaling into downward facing dog or any other version of a flow that your body wants, knowing always an option to skip the flow. Sometimes giving yourself a moment to rest in a child's pose instead of flowing is just what you need in your body. From downward facing dog, inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, gaze forward, bring it through. Back heel drops down. Coming up in a warrior one. Shoulders and hips are squared towards the top of the mat. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Always an option for the hands to be on the hips here if that feels better in your shoulders. 2 rounds of breath in warrior one. Beautiful. Inhaling with the exhale. Find a warrior two. Same thing. Hands on the hips if that's what your body needs in your shoulders. Or you can extend the arms, gaze down the front hand, and the breath here. And straightening the front knee, we're going to reach past the toes, dropping into triangle on this side. Option for a block here for support, or the hands can rest on the shins, or you can find a hover with the right hand, left hand up in the air, gazing up with that left hand. And the core is engaged here. Be focusing on the breath. Beautiful. Bend the right knee. Now drop the right elbow onto the right thigh, coming into a side angle. Two more breaths. And then turning over that right leg. Put both hands down, coming up on the back toes. A runner's lunge. Plant the hands, right foot steps back. Plank pose. Option to flow, option to skip the flow. Letting it be whatever your body needs today. Meeting in a downward facing dog when you feel ready. Inhaling, the left leg lifts. Gazing forward, slowly bring it through. I'm going to switch sides. Back heel drops down. Coming up in warrior one on this side. Option for hands to be on the hips. Option for hands to reach towards the ceiling. Soften the shoulders. 2 breaths here. And then inhaling, open, exhale, warrior two. With the option of the hands on the hips. Or gazing down the front hand, 2 breaths. And straightening the front knee, reaching past the toes. Triangle on this side. Whether you use a block, a hover, or your shin, right hand up towards the ceiling, gazing up, chest is lifted slightly. Core engaged. Bending left knee, left elbow onto left thigh, side angle. Keeping that breath going. And then on the next exhale, turning forward over the left leg, plant the hands, stepping it back, and maybe moving through a flow. downward facing dog. Inhaling, lift the right leg towards the ceiling, and exhale, bring it through. This time only about halfway. Drop the back heel down. We're gonna come into a pyramid pose. I'll grab the blocks really quick. Placing the blocks on either side of my right foot. This is an option here. Pull the left hip forward, square the hips, and then tuck the chin, forehead towards the right knee, supported by blocks. I can challenge my balance, take a bind behind my back, stretching in my shoulders, or I can take my hands forward, challenging my balance, or maybe I want to be supported today and I'm going to use my blocks, or just hands on either side of my right foot. 3 more rounds of breath here in pyramid pose. And then from pyramid pose, I'm going to take my gaze up towards the top of the mat. Using my hands to support the body, bend the right knee, stepping my left toes back. I'm going to drop into pigeon on the right side, left leg extends straight back, right knee to the outside of my mat. And then I can bring my right foot closer to my body, take it further away, changing how it feels in this pigeon. Always an option if you want a block underneath the right hip. And then maybe I stay right here. Maybe I want to stay in this pigeon, or maybe I want to fold forward into a sleeping pigeon. You can use a block underneath the body here. You can come all the way down onto the chest, the forehead, just depending on how you feel in your body in this moment, where you want to be. Three more rounds of breath right here. And then bringing the hands to the top of the mat, lifting the chest, tuck the left toes, step the right foot back, arriving in a downward facing dog. And here I'm gonna wanna do some movement in my hips, especially that right hip, a little bit tight. So make it any movement that your body wants here in this downward facing dog. And then when that's complete for you, inhale, lift the left leg. And we're gonna bring it through into pyramid on this side. So again, right hip comes forward to square the hips. You can use blocks here. You can take a bind behind the back. You can just fold forward. You can keep the left leg straight, or you can bend it, tucking the chin in towards the chest and finding your breath. And then taking the gaze up, stepping the right foot back. I'm gonna drop my left knee on the outside of my mat, right leg straight back. Pigeon on this side. Taking a moment to find how pigeon feels in my body and how I can adjust to make it feel better. Knowing that you always have the option to lie on your back in a figure 4 instead of a pigeon. You're gonna get the same stretch in your hips there, but with support of the mat beneath your back, less pressure on your hips. You have a little bit more control of how deep you go into the stretch here. So know this is always an option in place of pigeon if that feels better in your body. And if you're in pigeon, lifting the chest, taking the hands to the top of the mat. If you're lying on your back, just come forward. We're gonna move into a downward facing dog. Getting any tension out of the hips that we just created through pigeon. Movement and breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, when you're complete in that movement, just dropping down to the knees, take the knees to the outer edges of the mat, toes together, hips pressing back towards the heels. And then the arms walk forward, forehead rest, child's pose. Here in child's pose, we're gonna do a little bit of a thread the needle stretch. So putting some weight into the left hand, lift the right arm, take it beneath the left, coming down onto this shoulder, resting on the right side of the face. And then pushing into the left hand again, release the right arm, bring it forward, supporting the body with the right arm as you take the left arm, threading the needle on this side. Pressing into the right hand, lift the chest one last time, child's pose. And then when you're ready, walking the hands up, bringing the knees together, grab onto a block or some other form of support you can use here for a fixed firm. Just sitting on top of the feet to begin with for fixed firm. We want to feel a stretch in our thighs and our knees, but you don't want to feel any pain. So really listen to your body in this shape. And for some people, fixed firm is right here, just sitting on top of the feet. And that's enough sensation in your thighs and your knees. If this doesn't feel like a lot of sensation and you want to move deeper into the stretch, opening up the feet, letting the hips drop down between the feet or a block. Keeping the knees together and press down towards the mat. Right here, notice how it feels. Really listen to the body. Take your time, moving slowly deeper into this pose. And at any point that you feel any pain in your knees, definitely come back out to the level that you were at before, where you weren't feeling pain. So if you're here with the hips on a block or on the mat and you still want to create more sensation, deeper stretch, option to lean back into the hands, or place the hands on top of the feet, lower down onto one elbow and then the other elbow. And if you're here and you still would like to have a little bit more sensation, you can lower down onto your shoulders, something that I cannot do in my body, so I can't show you. But just be really careful and remembering to listen to your body and not creating any pain. Coming out to the previous level if you at any time begin to feel pain in the knees. And when this feels complete for you, just coming out the same way you went in, feeling supported, slowing your movements, back arriving with the hips on top of the feet and the shoulders over the hips. And then here, leaning back into the hands to stretch the front of the shins and the tops of the feet. Lift the right knee and then the left knee. And then maybe both knees. Beautiful. When that feels complete for you, just making your way onto your back. Bringing the knees into the chest. Movement here. What does your body want? Massage that low back, maybe taking the knees in circles. Or just finding some stillness, that might feel good. We're going to move into a spine twist, a reclined spine twist, and then a Shavasana. So I'm going to show you a few options for spine twist. Every body is different. Every body's going to feel different. So really try to listen to what your body wants here. Honor that. Letting the feet drop down. Let the arms extend out. Pressing into the heels. I like to tuck my right hip a little bit more over to the left as I drop both knees to the right. Keeping my knees bent. Taking the gaze to the left, left shoulder down. That's one version of a spine twist. Another version would be to straighten the right leg, bending the left knee and taking it across the body. That left arm stays to the left, my left shoulder stays down. And then the last option I'll show you is a twisted root. So I'm going to take my feet up, left foot crosses over the right foot, and I'm going to bend them back down. tucking my left toes underneath my right calf and then setting my right foot down. Same thing, I press into my right foot, tucking my right hip a little bit to the left, and then my shoulder stays down, my gaze is to the left. Twisted root, spine twist. So finding whatever version your body wants, arriving there, and then bringing your awareness to your breath. Inhales and exhales. Noticing those places in your body where you're still holding tension that's optional, where can you soften? When this side feels complete for you, bringing the knees back up. If you're in a twisted root, untwisting the legs, bring the knees back into the chest for some massage on that low back again. And then feet up towards the ceiling in waterfall, point and flex the feet. When that's complete, bringing the knees back down, finding your spine twist on this side, whichever one it feels best in your body with. And this side might be different than the other side. So just notice if you're moving into that twisted root. For me, my hips are definitely not equal. So when I try to do twisted root on this side, I cannot get my right foot to tuck behind my left foot and it hurts. And so if that's how your body is and each side feels different, really honor that. And notice what version your body wants, whether you have one knee bent or both knees bent or the twisted root. Try to honor your body. So here, riding with the right shoulder down, gazing to the right. And then settling in, noticing where you're holding tension that's optional and letting that tension go. Use your breath. And when this side feels complete for you, coming back to the center, one last time, bringing the knees into the chest. And then asking yourself if your body wants anything else. Maybe a supine butterfly would feel good, or happy baby. And just notice, what else would feel good in my body before I settle into that final resting shape? And then you can be on your back, your belly, your side. You can sit down for this. Just finding a comfortable shape to be in where you feel like you can really let go of your external world. Moving into a more internal experience. Arriving in a place where it's just you on your mat. Taking a moment to notice your emotional body. Often in yoga, as we move through our asanas and breath, it allows for emotions to be released that maybe have been held down for any reason. Often it doesn't feel safe to feel an emotion, and it just stays in our body until we're ready to feel it. And sometimes yoga can help those emotions come to the surface. So just noticing if that's happened for you. And then really giving yourself permission to notice if it feels safe to process the emotion that's come up for you. Knowing that you never have to do anything that you don't feel ready to do. So if those emotions are there and you feel ready to be with them, just giving the emotions permission to be felt. Maybe taking some breaths through the process. And if it's not something that you feel prepared to process in this moment, that's okay. Just bring your awareness back to your breath, taking some deep breaths, and knowing that those are all things that when you're ready for will be able to be felt and processed. Being kind and gentle with yourself, compassion and gratitude. As you melt into this resting shape, slowly allowing the body to relax a little bit more. And then just beginning to notice sensation in the body. Noticing the weight of your body on the ground and how that feels. Gravity pulling you down, the earth beneath you holding you up. And just knowing that that's a constant support. The earth is always there holding you. Perhaps taking this moment to allow yourself to feel held.
And maybe you imagine a warm blanket being laid on top of you, feeling enveloped in warmth and love and gratitude for just a moment. Taking as much time as you'd like here in the Shavasana with that exploration of your own self, your body, your heart, your mind, your soul. And taking your time when you feel ready to come out of that slow movement, gentle, taking your time. Feeling each movement and each breath as you begin to make your way to a seat, but only when you feel ready. And then once arriving in a seat, just taking a moment for some movement, inhaling the arms lift, exhaling the hands to the heart. 2 more times with that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to the heart. And 1 more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, hands to the heart. This time dropping the chin slightly, taking a moment just to honor yourself and your practice, your beautiful soul. Thanks for sharing in this yoga practice with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.